Hi friends, thanks for joining me. I'm going to do a little Christmas painting tonight, seeing as how the holiday season is upon us. This is a 5x7 linen panel. I'll show you what I'm painting. Spin you around here and drop you. It's a little snowman with a hat and a little scarf. A little difficult for you to see. And I'm going to do the 3 ornaments, not the blue one. I played around and I think this is what I like. I tried in vertical and I think I preferred horizontal. So that's our plan. I'm going to try to remember to photograph it when we get it blocked in and then at the halfway point. I want to do that for something else. I just got to remember to tell myself that. If I could hear you, you could tell me to do that, right? Welcome if you're new to my channel. I've had a lot of new subscribers lately, people coming over from TikTok a lot. And if you don't know, I work in water mixable oils. They're water cleanup, so they're less toxic. I'm going to start off tonight. I don't do everything the same all the time, but I'm going to put a wash on the canvas tonight. For me, I like the warm color underneath. I've used different colors over the years. This is just red and yellow, but I've used pink, bright pink, and that can be interesting poking through. So I intend to leave little bits and pieces of it showing through, hopefully. You know, you try to make a plan, but things change. Anyway, if you found this video and you're new to me, the last video I posted is called Giveaway 500 Subscribers. And if you go over there, if you subscribe to my channel and comment on that video, you will be entered into a drawing for a choice of 3 paintings. Maybe I'll show them to you before we leave here. I have to locate them. But I'm going to draw a winner Christmas night, and the winner will get to choose a painting this time. Last time I just gave away a painting, but this time I'm going to let the winner choose from 3 different paintings. They're also 5x7s, canvas on panel like these. So I'll try my best to remember to show you. All right, I'm going to look through my view catcher. This is a view catcher. If you've never seen one, you adjust it for the size of your canvas. There are some measurements on there for different size canvases. Not a 5x7, so I just kind of eyeball it and approximate the size, the format of the canvas, and I look through there to do my setup. Very, very useful tool. Very useful if you go outside. So we're just going to mix a little blue into there just to get it a little bit darker. And I'm going to look through here and try to set up my composition. Hopefully get something I like. So we'll see how high up the snowman goes and how low. He's about that size. And maybe we'll sketch him in first. I'm not a person that feels like I need a real precise sketch. Maybe you do if you're an artist, but I'll adjust it as I go. So I always feel like if I get one thing right on the canvas when I'm sketching it in, I can always adjust everything around it, you know, kind of use it as a scale for everything else. This brush is a little bit stiff. So again, thank you if you're a new subscriber. I really appreciate that. It took me quite a while to get to the 500. I'd been waiting to hit that mark to give away painting, and now we're well beyond that. So we'll do another one at 1,000 subscribers. How's that sound? I gave a little Santa painting away over on TikTok recently. That was fun. Got a fairly tall hat, which makes him fun. And again, I'm not, you know, real concerned with having a real precise sketch. I'll adjust as I go. And see, now that I've started, I'm not liking this. I'll tell you why, because I pulled the snowman too far off to the left. Oh, I'm sorry. Went for a ride, didn't we? Let's look through this again. Maybe we'll consider even going vertical. I'm looking to see if I prefer that. I did look at this before we started, but let me look at it again. Composition is just everything, really, if you don't get that right. I've talked about Helen Van Wyck before, and she just used to kind of like she'd go like, the snowman's here, and there's an ornament here. She'd kind of work like that and just make areas for her placement of her objects, which is not a bad thing to do, you know. You know, we can work that way, kind of. And then from there, you kind of, you know, kind of sketch them in. Yeah, I just had him too small and too far left because I would have ended up with all this negative space. And again, we might have done better to go on vertical. And I looked at that possibility, but I always say painting is a series of, you know, just constant decision making, and kind of a sketch there. I'm going to take a little water because these are, again, water mixables, and I'm going to wipe off the lighter part of his body. Get rid of some of that, even though he's kind of he's a primitive little snowman and kind of a muddy color, but we'll get rid of some of that. What I'm going to do now is take some Ultramarine Blue. I use a limited palette, by the way. I use a warm and cool of each primary. I have the primary colors, and I use, of course, white, and then I have Indian yellow because I like that color, and I have transparent red oxide, which is similar to a burnt sienna. And that's what I work with. If you're new to art, maybe you're a beginner painter or you're thinking about starting, I would recommend you start with that limited palette, a warm and cool of each primary and white, and stick with that maybe forever. There's no reason to go with all those tube colors. You can learn to mix color that way. I'll tell you what I'm doing now. I'm just mixing a dark of Ultramarine Blue and transparent red oxide. And I'm going to just block in around my objects. Okay. Sorry, this always makes a little noise. How to keep it from doing that. Maybe I ought to just take that stupid thing off. Not tonight, maybe next time. And they make mediums for these water mixables, which if you're considering using them, you could check into them. I don't use any of them, but I just use a little water for thinning if I need it. I got all kinds of noise going on, don't I? I think next time we'll take that thing off the top. It's not really doing much anyway. So I'm just kind of looking at the shapes up there and kind of blocking around them. And I could have done so many different things. I could have blocked this in very dark and then wiped out my painting. I've worked like that before too. Maybe you have. I've been having such a good time over on TikTok. If you're not familiar with it, it's I think you can still get the app. I don't know. I know President Trump was trying to get rid of it for a while, and they kept thinking it would go away. It's fun. It's just a lot of silliness and okay, he's got a dark hat, a red rim, and a brim. Dark scarf, so I went ahead and kind of suggested that. That comes down here. And he's got little dark shoes. I consider myself an impressionist. I try to keep things loose as long as I can and work into a tighter painting. I don't want to get too committed to anything too early, because things become too precious and you're hesitant to change them sometimes. So, and I want a looser painting, so and this is not always the way I start. This is just the way I'm starting today. And there's a good chance we'll be going back over all this stuff too. My goal is always just to get some paint on there so you got something to work into, and until the canvas is covered, I'm always saying that. You can't really judge color against color and value against value, so. All right, I think the snowman, you know, he's very important, so let's work on him. And I'm going to go with the brushes a little bit smaller. I try to stay with the largest brush I can handle for as long as I can. And his hat is black, but it's very much lighter on this side and more grayed. And we may just kind of run it off. We may run it off of the canvas. Oh, I wanted to get a photo toward the beginning. Doesn't look like much, but let's get a photo. Then I want to try to remember to get one halfway. Just a mess right now, but I've said this before, but sometimes a lot of people never get the opportunity to watch anybody paint, and they just don't realize the steps that you go through and the mess that it is for the longest time. And I like to set, I do paint from photos some, but I like to paint from life the most, because I feel like I can set up what I want and create the light that I want. And for me, I really like dramatic lighting. And this part of it is catching a lot of nice light. So hopefully this will turn out and you're watching it. There are times that, you know how it is if you paint. It's hard. I say painting is hard. It is very hard, and it can be very humbling. Kick your butt, you know. One time you do it and think, hey, I'm doing pretty good with this. And then it's like you don't know how to paint the next time. If you paint, you know what I'm talking about. And I don't think an artist ever gets to the point that they don't struggle. I see artists that I consider very good artists that post about, you know, wiping off over and over and over. So sometimes I think, why do I do this? I do it because I love it and I'm drawn to it, and I guess I like the challenge of it too. Got a little carrot nose and a couple little dots for eyes. I've mentioned it before, but I chair a group of artists that we meet on Mondays, and finally made a decision to take a break for a while. The virus here in Ohio just, you know, isn't getting better, and most people in the group are over 65, and so we're higher risk, and so taking a break till some people get vaccinated, and don't really know. Makes me sad. We canceled our Christmas party. One of the highlights of the year. But the main thing is that we all get through this, right? And it's early for detail, but we're going to throw a few things on the little guy. Just because it's fun and I want to. Usually I paint large to small and I leave the details for last, but Tell me in the comments section where you're from, if you wouldn't mind. I like knowing where everybody's from, and if you're an artist. This color, I'm sure it appears to be black to you. This is just ultramarine and transparent red oxide. There isn't any black in it. I rarely have black on my palette. Yeah, I was walking around looking for something to paint that would be fun. Got all my Christmas stuff out now. I had I carried in a little train. I thought about that. Anyway, we settled on this little guy. I didn't just want to do ornaments. Again, it's a little early for all this stuff, but we're doing it anyway. Might be a little bit of pattern in the scarf. It's hard to tell. But we'll suggest some. Let's move on for now, and we'll come back and I look at everything again when I get the canvas covered. All right, ornaments can be fun to paint. Got some nice bright reflections in them. So, no particular reason. I think I like to kind of work from the back forward. I think we'll put that red one in first. So let me see where he's at in relation to my snowman. He's more up into there. And the gold one, I tried to leave the top of the ornaments exposed because I think that little part of them is interesting. Not on the red one, he's just back there in the back. Okay, so we're going to mix together my two reds, my alizarin crimson and my cad red light. Those are the two reds that I have on here. We're going to start there. Can't see the bottom of it too much from here, but it's lighter on the bottom where it's reflecting the table, and it's a little warmer. So into part of that we'll mix some yellow. And then we've got that nice bright highlight, and part of it where it turns away is darker. So I try to analyze what I'm looking at. All right. Stay with that brush. Hopefully it's not too big. So we'll put the darkest part in first that we see. Back in here it's pretty dark. And a little bit of it I see over in here. And down in here. The other one comes up into here a little bit over top of it. I overlapped them that way on purpose. And try to look at your highlights. White is obviously your lightest color on here, but I don't see pure white there when I look at that highlight. We'll just play around and see what we get. It's actually, the ball is red, and actually the highlight looks pretty red to me. Whew, I catch light with this palette knife. Let's move up to this little gold guy. Let's see where he's at exactly before we go. And with this wet surface, you know, you could probably kind of scratch into there or whatever you needed to do for the placement. But again, he comes up kind of onto that one, and he's here, and he comes down maybe into here. I can kind of see that. See? And he's away from there, and then the little part that's sticking out is down in there. So, and it's again, it's a gold ornament. So let me clear a little spot on here. We'll start with some yellow, some cad yellow medium. I'm going to take some of my Indian yellow. And there's a part of him that's a bit darker too. I always say paintings have an ugly stage. Someone was saying to me recently they give up. Usually they start painting and give up. Oh, there are times I give up. I mean, it's just not working for me, and I wipe them off. I want to say you don't ever give it up, but you got to keep going far enough to where you can see if it's going to work or not. We'll get a little further along, and then we'll take another photo. Try to remember. And the bottom of this one, because of the lighter fabric, is lighter at the bottom. Just stuff to look for. Let's see if I got that big enough. And we'll be going back over the background and we'll clean up these edges. Let's go ahead and think about getting this little stem thing, the little top of the ornament in. And again, I consider myself an impressionist, so it doesn't have to be exact. I want it to read right, but all right, let's get another photo. I don't know if you'd consider this halfway or not. Probably not quite, no. But we're about a half an hour in. It's usually, you know, it depends on the size canvas and the subject, but probably usually at least an hour and a half, and that all depends on how it goes, whether you're wiping stuff off. And then we'll be grounding everything with some darker shadows, you know, later on. Of course, we have to fill in everything. All right, let's look at the last guy over here, the last ornament. See where his placement is. He comes to about there. He's up in this area probably. And his little stem is down in there. Okay, and he's silver, which is, you know, a gray color. Trying to clean some of the muck off my brush. Okay, so you can make grays so many ways. You know, you can take blue and orange, and you can use all three of the primaries to get a gray. So I'm making a darker gray and a lighter gray is what I'm trying to do over here. And we'll just try this. Where he's reflecting down in here, he's much lighter. And again, I'm not overly concerned, as you can tell, with the exact size and shapes, because we're going to be coming in and we'll be doing over the background again. So actually I'm going to make that one look a little bigger. gets much darker here and gets lighter here, and then it gets darker again down in here. Had the cutest little girl she put a little video up on TikTok, said it was for me, Barbara Pask, and would I be her honorary grandma. Isn't that the cutest thing? There's a lot of young people on there. You wonder what I'm doing there, right? I'm just having fun and enjoying it. It's all clean content. I've shared recipes and all kinds of things. There are people on there, though, that are my age and older that are showing themselves off and shouldn't be, you know. Some people are insecure about growing older, and I think they just want to be sexy still, I guess. I figure people you know see this. You know, I have grandchildren and children, and I'm not going to embarrass anybody. And everything I put on there, my husband sees, so he just thinks I'm having a good time, and I am. I'm going to lighten this up a little bit on the top. We'll probably have to put these little wire tops in again. By the time I base in the background, you probably won't be able to see them. That's okay. All right, we have paint everywhere. So now let's look at things again and see what feels right, what doesn't feel right. Of course, we're going to be going over the background again. All right. Again, this is a great big brush for what we're doing here. Maybe too big. I want him to be our focal point. You know, and he's a bit primitive, but we can throw, you know, some brighter color in on him to create more contrast. And you see okay? I'm going to brighten up that mitten a little bit too. Like we did to his headband. All right. Let's go over the background again now. Mix up some more of that dark color, transparent red oxide, and ultramarine blue. We just kind of clean up the background. I'm looking closer at how that hat and scarf is shaped. And we may need to lighten up some more of this hat so it shows up against the dark background. Right now, the background is not as dark up there as I'm painting it. I've chose to go darker. But the orange that's underneath there, again, you do see some of it, and it kind of creates a nice warmth, I think. That hits about in there, so I can't really see his arm on the other side as I look up there. I think it's just kind of a, but again, we may lighten up the little brim of this hat here. All right, let's mix up something lighter for the foreground. I don't know if that works for me. We may have to go back into the dark. Bringing the dark down a little more. I just think it reads better. right. Kind of lightening up that part of his hat back there. I want you to see it against the dark background. There's his scarf. We're going to kind of suggest a shape back there without going too light. I mean, kind of suggest that his arm is back there. Got some big feet. Great big feet. Yeah, I hope you all get in on the drawing. I said I'll announce it Christmas night. You just have to, again, you have to subscribe to the channel and go back to the last video that says giveaway 500 subscribers and leave a comment on that. Playing around with a little color now. I got out a little phthalo blue, which is a very scary, bright, intense blue. How long we've been going? 52 minutes, so close to an hour. Just thought it might be fun to put some of this vibrant blue in some places. color harmony is a big thing, and people buy paintings a lot of times for color, you know, matches their decor. And one thing I do see, which is kind of cute, his little cheeks look kind of blushed. And actually on the side there it would be darker because it's in the shadowed side. And you could see immediately it was too light when I put it over there. Nothing in the dark side should be as light as anything in the light side. And I think I said that right. So everything over here should be darker than anything over here. That makes sense? Okay, I'm looking to see what I like, what I don't like, and I feel like this could be higher, this lighter section. Ornaments are generally pretty rich colors. All right, so what do we think? You ever heard the saying, bed bug line? Of course, that's not, these balls are reflecting the color around them, but a bed bug line, they say, is where your object goes into the shadow. So it's supposed to be the most intense color where shadow and light meet. You hear a lot of terms when you take workshops. And taking a little pure color here and there. That might be too much back there, we'll see. I'll have to brighten up the highlight. And him being like a composite material, he really doesn't have any, you know, areas that he's reflecting light. Okay, I do see right here is a reflection. I may have to explain that scarf a little bit better. I just kind of made it kind of, I wanted it to feel soft. All right, what do we think? Not completely sure. All right, I think we're going to call it. I'll go ahead and sign it, but there's always a chance we're not done, though. We'll see. And this is a nice space over here because there's a fair amount of negative space. Sign up high enough when you sign too that you don't cut it off down in your frame. Easy name. All right, I'm going to get up and we'll back away and I'll show it to you. And this is a 5x7. Get you right in front of it. Let me see if I can take you in a little bit. Like I said, we ran his hat up off, and I have to look at him, you know. I may make some changes yet. Even though I signed it, it doesn't mean I won't. So, all right. I appreciate you taking your time out to watch, and you can find me on Facebook, Barbara Pass Fine Art. I'm on Instagram. Don't do a lot with that. And TikTok, of course, and right here. All right, watch for my next video, and thank you. I appreciate it, really. Thank you for joining me and getting in on that giveaway. And happy holidays. Stay well.